Hi, welcome to Moyna Bass Fishers. I'm Jim Moyna. In this video, we're going to talk about the current AOY standings for the 2023 Tackle Warehouse Invitational Circuit. This is the circuit by which you need to work your way through this one in order to qualify for the top level, which is the Bass Pro Tour. So to do that, you got to finish in the top 8 or 8th place or higher in these Tackle Warehouse Invitational Angler of the Year standings in order to do that. So we're looking for the top 8 fishermen. So let's kind of look at that and see where we're at after 4 tournaments of a total of 6. So now originally my goal for the total points for the year was 1,014. I thought that was going to be the cut line. Things are starting to look a little lower than that. After 3 tournaments, the cut line was looking like it was going to be higher, but now, as I kind of anticipated, as you take the averages, like, well, let's, for example, right now, Dakota Ebert's in 8th place. He's got 673 points, and you can get a maximum of 200 points. If you win, you get 200 points. If you get second, you get 199 points, and so on. It works down 1 point as you go lower in position. So Dakota Ebert's got 673 points, which averages through 4 tournaments to be 168.25 points he's accumulating per tournament. So if you take 168.25 and multiply that times 6, that puts you at 1,009.5 points for 8th place. My goal was 1,014, so we've kind of come down from that. And I only see that number going down even more. So I looked up the last 3 years. Now we have 150 anglers, okay? So in 2022, we had 158 anglers, and 8th place had 988 points. Okay, so that's even another 20 points less. But, so you have more anglers, so you have more variance. So, let's look at 2021. 949 points out of 163 anglers. And then in 2020, I got 981 points for 8th place out of 154 anglers. Apparently the super tournament guys they were not calculated into this or whatever. I don't know why it's not showing them, but it's not. So anyway, so that's what I got to work with. In every case, we had more anglers. However, not crazy more anglers in these stats. So I'm thinking my original estimate of 1,014 points is too high. We're now looking at maybe probably somewhere between 9 around, well, I don't see it going any lower than 988, which is what we had last year with 158 anglers. Because we have 8 fewer anglers, so that's just fewer points there's just less variance with the fewer anglers you have. So I don't see it being any less than 988, but I do anticipate it falling from the 1,009.5 average that we're on now. So let's look at it somewhere. It's going to be somewhere around 988 to 1,000 points. So I'm just going to, we could have a weird situation where it doesn't drop much off the pace it's on now, but anyways, I don't know, let's just say 1,000 points is the target now. So to get to 1,000 points, anybody in the standings who currently has 600 points or more are capable of getting to 1,000 points. So even if somebody's at 600 points even, if they win both tournaments, that means they get 200 points and then 200 more points. So that is a total of 400 points for 2 victories. So add that to their 600 points they have now. That puts them to 1,000 points, and they are more than likely that 1,000 points is going to get them 8th place or higher and qualify them for the Bass Pro Tour. So, looking at the current standings as it is now, there currently are 21 anglers who have more than 600 points. Just under that bubble, we have in 22nd place, we got Cody Pike with 597, Nick Hatfield 596, Jason Vance 596, Clayton Batts 592. So, let's say it ends up coming in under 1,000 for 8th place. These anglers, obviously they'll be putting in their best. I mean, every angler puts in their best efforts, whether they're still in this hunt for this or if they're just showing up to win the tournament. But I would say your top 8 are going to come out of this top 25 group of anglers at this point. The one guy that's over 600 points at the minimum, he's got 609. That's Jaden Paris. Okay, myself, I've got 614 points. So I'm going to have to, the best I can do is 1,014 points if I win both tournaments. Probably not going to win both tournaments. That's just being a little, obviously I'm going to try to win both, but I've been trying to win every tournament since I've been in this game, and I'm not even close to doing that. In fact, I'm winning 1 out of 100, if that. So that's at the national level. So anyways, the local level, I've done much better. But anyhow, it's another matter. So, yeah, so I've got to... So if I'm sitting at 614 points and I want to get to 1,000, that means out of these last 2 tournaments, I've pretty much got to get 7th place or higher out of these last 2 tournaments. Or average 7th place out of these last 2. So I could have a 4th place and a 10th place. Okay? So that's what I have to do, where I'm at. Jaden Paris, who's got 5 less points, well, he's going to have to average, what is that, to get to 1,000. So he can get to, so he's going to have to average like 4.5 place. So a 4th place and a 5th place is what he's got to do. Other guys, okay, so Jaden Paris is 21st. I'm currently in 20th in Angler of the Year points. John Voles is 19th. Kyle Hall, 18th. 17th, Drew Gill. 16th, Marshall. Okay, let's back up. Kyle Hall, up-and-coming angler. He's a young kid. He's one of those young kids that knows his forward sonar backwards and forwards. Drew Gill, he's another young kid. Marshall Robinson, he's the son of Marty Robinson, who currently is on the Bass Pro Tour. So Marshall Robinson, he's sitting there at 16. 15, Connor Cunningham. 14, Michael Harlan. 13, Scotty Valenis. 12th, Tom Reddington. He's been around for a long time, like I have, fishing FLW. He's got 650 points right now. 11th, Ty, younger guy, not super young, but West Coast phenom. He's been doing really well on the West Coast for several years, and he's in the 11th right now. Great position going into the last 2. Joshua Weaver at 10th. 9th, Brock Reichenmeyer. 8th, Dakota Ebert. 7th, Colby Schrumpf. 6th, Keith Carson, who was the winner. Keith Carson was the winner at the last one at Lake of the Ozarks. 5th, Michael Neal. 4th, Gray Buck. 3rd, Martin Vila. 2nd, Matt Steffen. And number 1 right now, Ron Nelson with 777 points. So Ron, only if we're saying 1,000 is our benchmark that we got to get to. So what is Ron? Ron's 223 points away from that, which means out of 400 possible, he needs to get 223. So I don't know, 223 divided by 2 is what, 116.5. So, and then take 200 minus 116.5. That's, what is that, 82.5? Something like that. So Ron Nelson needs to finish like an average of 82, 83 in these last two. That's what he's got to average. So not even a money finish. So that's where Ron's in. He's sitting in really good shape. But no, if he finishes with 200th places or worse, he's out. Matt Stefan, he's a Bridgeford teammate of mine. He's had 735 points. So 1,000 minus 735 is 265. Divide that in half is 265 divided in half is what? 132.5, which means he's going to have to average 67.5 or 68.5 place out of these last two, somewhere in there. I mean, I'm trying to do this math at the top of my head. So that's where he's at. And of course, Dakota Ebert, if he gets another 168.25 points out of these in each of these last two tournaments, he will hold down 8th place. Well, yeah. Or, well, no. Scratch that, because that puts him at the 109.5 average. So, and that it's going to go down from 109.5. It'll go down to 1,000. Probably, more than likely, not guaranteed, but more than likely, these things fall. That cut line average seems to fall as you add on more tournaments. All right, so one thing to note is Dakota Ebert and in 5th place Michael Neal, they already are in the Bass Pro Tour. So, so what that means is instead of taking 8 anglers, they'll only take 6 if it stays the way it is now. But they will go down to 8th place to do that. But they will not go down to 9th and 10th to make up for 2 guys that are already in the top 8. So anyhow, which means there'll be a turnover of 6 new guys in the Bass Pro Tour for 2024 instead of 8. So, it is what it is. Got to get to the top 8. I've got a big challenge ahead of me. I got to have basically two top 5, nearly top 5. I got to have 2 top 10s, really. 2 top 10 finishes to put myself in position to be at that cut line, either just above it or just below it. 2 top 10s. It's a tall order. It's a big challenge. Bring it on. We get the Potomac River, which is where I'm sitting right now. I'm in Maryland. Practice for the Potomac River starts tomorrow. And I am ready for this Potomac River tournament. Anyhow, that's a quick look at the Angler of the Year standings right now. And I don't know. There's 25 guys still with dreams that are alive for making that top 8 and moving on to the Bass Pro Tour, which is where we all want to be. Anyways, that's all I got to say about this. Over.